Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Barrington here from bridgelesson.com, and I'm here to share with you a sneak peek into one of my new complete guides on bridgelesson.com. I always said, and I will probably write a book at some point about bridge, but I never really wanted to write a book because I had these sorts of things in mind instead. And let me show you what a complete guide might look like. And here's one of the most recent ones I have here. On the left over here, you can see this is basically what it looks like on the site. And this is a multi-step lesson on a specific wide-ranging topic. This happens to be raising in competition, which is a very useful skill because of the way bridge is played these days, at least in the bidding portion of the game, right? Very competitive, and we want to be able to handle all of these situations. And here we have a multi-step lesson that covers a bunch of the basics: cue bids, preemptive raises, lots of questions in the form of quizzes in this course, and also an advanced section to give some of those of you that have some experience with this. You get a lot of practice with the basics and then a little bit more on the advanced side. And then on my right over here, if I'm holding up the right hand, right here, you're going to see a version of the notes. And this is, my goodness, this is 141 pages of notes on the topic that we're covering here. And take a look, guys. This is a quiz / notes package that you can actually just look at digitally and complete a number of different times, right? So here you can see this is problems 4, 5, and 6. Don't have any answers here. So if you're looking at the notes, you can take these quizzes over and over again and get more of those mental reps in that you need just by looking at the notes. But here you can see an extensive package of notes, and these are going to look familiar to you in a moment because the sneak preview is going to be actually all of this first section of notes here. And then you can see I'm going to continue, and I'm going to go super fast through this entire process. Look at all these notes, folks. There we go. We are on page, let's see, where are we now? We are on page 41 of 141. So here you can see tons of stuff to look at, lots of problems to actually solve, and section quizzes in each of these spots, along with a huge other section that's just a quiz for a midterm and a final in this course. So here you can see tons of stuff to look at. These are my books, folks. I didn't want to just have you reading something. I want you interacting, making choices on all of these problems, and being able to have some sort of analysis afterwards. And that's what all of these complete guides include. And folks, I've done quite a few of these so far. Take a look. These are the ones that are already in the books, folks, except raising in competition. If you're viewing this, there's a live practice session on August 10th. If you're viewing it on or before that day, that hasn't quite completed yet, but it's almost done. So I have these 4 topics in the bank, and upcoming, guys, we have defense, right, which is going to be a really popular course, guys. Defense is one of the most important parts of bridge, and as you can see, I have chosen things that are going to come up relatively frequently and or are systemically very important, right? I think we should all be playing a 2/1 system. So if you haven't gotten that in the books yet, take a look at this course right here. Doubles are just something we really need to understand. That is a huge guide for doubles, all different kinds, all sorts. Slam bidding, maybe not going to come up that frequently, but it's nice to have a good system, and this course will give you that, and maybe some more advanced stuff if you're looking for that. And then raising in competition, you've just seen a preview of the notes, and now, folks, you're about to see a preview of the course. So I want to share the introduction to this course, let you see what it's going to be about and how it looks and feels. So take a look, folks. Enjoy the sneak preview, and I hope to see you in one or more of these courses on bridgelesson.com. All the links will be right in the chat, folks, and also in the description of the video. So I will see you soon. Take care. Hi there, I'm Rob Barrington, and I'm here to welcome you to the complete guide to raising in competition. This is an exceptionally important concept to master because in today's game, we are in a hyper-competitive bidding environment. There's lots of bids out there. People are preempting aggressively in a lot of different spots, and that's all good stuff. And I'm here to not just expose you to that sort of competitive environment, but make you dangerous as well as an opponent. And we're going to go through all the tools we have available when we're in the competitive environment. Let's look at a little bit of the bids that we have available in all of these different options. So first off, let's just look at what's going to change in competition. I'm going to take you through a few examples here, and then we're going to look at the entire course as a whole, basically right here in this introduction, and then we'll get to the specifics as we go through each of the modules in this wonderful interactive course with so much information at hand for you to be dangerous and a feared opponent in the competitive auction sphere. So here, let's look at this auction. This is a standard non-competitive auction, and partner has opened a major one spade. It's gone past to you, and now it is your bid. So let's take a look at hand number one. What are you going to do with this hand? And in fact, I'm going to kind of go through these relatively quickly. Hand one, hand two, and hand three. And I'm going to give you all the time you need to answer all of these questions by just hitting pause if you want to take your time. I'm going to go very quickly as this is a non-live class. I don't want too much dead air for you guys that are quick thinkers, but if you need more time, just press pause and you'll be ready to go. So partner opened a spade. What are you doing with hands 1, 2, and 3? All right, well, let's take a look at the solutions, folks. If you're not ready, hit pause, and here they come. These are our standard raises that are on most people's cards these days. Now, you might, in fact, be playing even more raises than these, but these are the ones you should be very familiar with. Number one was 3 spades, the standard invitational raise, and it shows an invitational hand, which is like a good 10 to 12, and 4 card support for spades. This is that limit raise that we all talk about. Here's our simple raise, right? 6 to 9, or really 6 to 10 is more of the modern range for this, and at least 3 card support. So on this end, we didn't have to have 4 card support to bid 2 spades. We only were showing 3. And number 3 you should recognize is Jacoby 2 no trump, folks. So that is a conventional raise that you have available to show your strongest raises. And notice when we're in this environment, we're really not dealing with any of the opponent's bids. So we have all of these conventional bids available that we would agree. So here would be a spot if you're a little more advanced, you play something like Bergen raises. All of these things are available to you in these auctions because no opponents are bidding. Right? We're free to go. And also one more thing I want to show you. Every problem you see in this course will have a number assigned to it, right? So anytime you're looking at notes, it'll be, hey, this section, the introduction section, hand 3 or 4. And that is so if you have questions, you can reference an exact part of the notes and or the course, and I'll be better able to answer those, and you'll be better able to kind of get the answer you're looking for each of these questions. So everything's going to have a number to it. If you want to reference it, just let me know which one it is and which section it's going to be in. And here's the next problem. This time, partner has opened 1 spade. Right-hand opponent has overcalled 2 hearts. And you are going to have the same exact hands. Here are problems 4, 5, and 6. You have the same hands you had to begin with, but now the opponents have interfered with a bid. All right, 1 spade, 2 hearts to you. Make your calls on 4, 5, and 6. And I will give you the answers in a few short moments here, folks. And let's get to them. Right, so if you need more time, press pause. I'm sure a lot of you will. Don't worry about that. I'm going to go relatively quickly so we can get as much information in as little time as possible. So here we go, folks. You have 2 opportunities to be a hero here by making Q bids. One was on number 4. When the opponents interfere in the auction, our bids change. We don't have Jacoby 2 no trump anymore, right? We also don't have the typical limit raise. We're going to have a bid that's exactly like it. However, it's going to mean something different. And that is because in these situations, when the opponents have bid a suit, we gain a bid, right? They do 2 things in these spots. They chew up some of our bids, right? In any competitive auction, anytime they bid, they've taken away some space for us to actually communicate. And when they preempt, they take away a lot of space, right? They really constrict our options. So we need ways to get some of our bids back. And one of those really common ways is their suit. We both know that we're not going to play hearts, right? Right-hand opponent is showing a 5-card heart suit and a reasonably good hand, at least. I mean, usually 6 cards in these spots at 2-level overcalls, right? So we're certainly not going to want to be bidding hearts. So we use hearts to show at least an invitational raise for partner suit, and at least an 8-card fit. Recognize I did not need all 4 of these spades to make this bid. If I only had 3, I would do the exact same thing. Number 5 shows you the complement to the Q bid. When we have a Q bid available, we don't need the 1-3 of a major bid to be limit raise numbers, right? We have the Q bid to show that. This bid, folks, is so important to recognize is the strongest raise we have when they've bid suits in competition, right? So this is absolutely the strongest raise, and it starts at invitational or better, so a good 10 or better. And that means that this doesn't have to be 10 to 12. We get to show that here instead. So this becomes preemptive. And this is the point that I want to get across to you in this course, if nothing else. This is all standard stuff. I'm not really introducing any new conventions yet, but we have options for that in this course as well. But this is the most important thing to be a tough opponent. The opponents have bid 2 hearts. They've restricted some of our bidding space, but we should recognize on hand number 5, it very likely is their hand, not ours. So our job is to be tough opponents and gobble up a lot of the room that they could use to communicate other things. Maybe our left-hand opponent is getting ready to cube at our suit. Maybe they're getting ready to raise hearts. Maybe they're going to bid no trump. Who knows? But what we do by bidding 3 spades with this hand is we preempt to a very appropriate level. We have 9 trumps, and we're preempting the 9 trump level. And we're doing the most important thing. We're making their process way more difficult when it could be possible that they have the hand, right? So it's very important, and we're going to talk a ton about this in the first few sections of this course. Number 6, right back to Q bid, folks. Again, the strongest raise in competition. I don't care if you have a 20 count. You Q bid first. You show a good hand, and this is the only bid that does that in a competitive environment where they've bid a suit naturally. All right, let's take a look at one more example, and this time we're going to go through the same process with the same 3 hands, but now they've doubled. So make your bids here and go with any information or any system that you currently play with your partners, right? So if you're playing a bunch of advanced stuff, you can make your bid here for sure. I might not reference it, right? But you should know what your system is going to be. I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to be showing, and I will do that right now, folks. So if you need more time, press pause. But here are the answers. 1 spade double. The first one is a conventional raise called Jordan. This is not Jacoby 2 no trumps, so don't look at this and think that this is the same thing. There's a huge difference because they've interfered with a double. And this is a different spot because sometimes when they've intervened with a suit, they've overcalled or they've preempted, they haven't shown a good hand. Here, our right-hand opponent is always showing a good hand. So if you think about it this way, if partner has an opening bid and right-hand opponent, the doubler, also has an opening bid, how many times are we going to need Jacoby 2 no trump, which is 13 or more total points? Or how many times are we going to have that in this seat? The amount of times is very low, right? So our system goes down a little bit as far as the strengths of these bids. So 2 no trump is very similar to our normal Jacoby 2 no trump bid, except it says your invitational or better, and you have a 9-card fit. Number 8 should look very similar. It's the exact same preemptive raise we have when they bid a suit. Notice that our strong raises are going to be something different. So here, that 3 spade bid is even more necessary in this spot, because here, East has shown more strength in these spots when they've doubled usually. So here we want to get in and preempt them aggressively and make their job difficult. They might still get it right, but our job is to make theirs very tough while we make our bids super easy. And this is, I hope at the end of the course, will be a very natural bid for you. And this next one is not the Jordan 2 no trump bid. I know some of you might have readjusted your answer to number 9. This bid is always a 9-card raise. Whoa, let's not go too far there. This bid is always a 9-card raise, right? So this is, hey, I have 4 trumps opposite your opening 1 of a major, and I have an invitational hand or better. This is the bid we start with when we have either a good 3-card raise or any good hand that's 10 or more points, right? So the redouble is going to be something we are also going to talk about when we deal with doubles. And let's just take an overview of the course, right? So here, as we've seen, these 3 hands over here, point to the right way, these 3 hands over here were our non-competitive auctions. And here, this would include all of the system you play in your major openings box, right? So here, if you're playing Bergen raises, splinter bids, all of this stuff, it's all available in non-competitive auctions. And in these auctions, we have use of all the bids in the box. So it's our hand, and our job in these auctions is to use all the bids we need to gather the correct information to place the contract as precisely as possible, right? When we know it's our hand, we're just trying to figure out where and how high we can play it, right? In competitive auctions, when they bid, they've taken space away from us, especially when they've preempted. And in these spots, it's unclear. It can be very clear, like on number 6 up here. If you look at that, it's very clear it's our hand. But in other hands, like number 5, it is unclear whose hand it's going to be. And there'll be foggy in a lot of these spots. So it may be our hand, it may be theirs. Our job here will be to bid to place the contract when we think it's our hand. So number 4 and number 6 would be examples of, hey, I'm trying to kind of get us to the right contract and I'm raising your suit. When we don't have a fit, we might try other things, but we'll make some constructive bids. However, when we think it's their hand, like in number 5, we will bid to interfere with their process, right? What we get to do in these spots is we get to make nice raises with our partner when we have nice fits. And when we have weak hands, we get to really be aggressive and interfere with their process. Because here on number 5, I'm worried it's their hand, so I'm in their way, right? And that's the whole point of competitive bidding. We want to be very good to kind of take advantage when they compete, but we also want to be competing aggressively on our side to make it tough for them. That's the tough opponent strategy, right? You want to be a tough opponent, make their job difficult. You'll get better scores that way. All right, the next one, or let's take a look at competitive raises when they bid. The Q bid raise, as we talked about, is absolutely the strongest raise we have in a competitive auction where they've bid a suit, right? So here, these examples up here, these 2 auctions are just normal raises of partner suit. So here, as the left player here, or on the left side, we have the auction going 1 heart by North, our partner, and South bidding 2 spades after East overcalls a spade. So here, 1 heart, the overcall of 1 spade, and the Q bid of that suit directly. Hey, partner, I have 10 plus total points, and I have an 8-card fit in your suit, hearts. Notice on the right, it happens when we overcall as well, right? So here, on number 1, East has overcalled, and it's our bid. Here, our partner has overcalled 1 spade. And now we are Q bidding the opening bidder suit 2 clubs to show support for spades and 10 or more points, right? So the Q bid raise is absolutely the strongest raise we have available in competition. Here's one more example, and this is a weird one only because of the level it exists at. So here, when South Q bids 4 diamonds, they're not just showing 10 points. They're clearly still showing a heart fit, but they're showing 13 or more points because they're forcing to the 4 level, right? And this is definitely our strongest raise in competition when they've bid suits against us. And then all the other weak raises in competition are basically all of partner's suit, right? 2 hearts, the simple raise, 3 hearts, the preemptive raise. We're really going to get into a lot of that in this course. And then the closeout bid or the closeout raise, that's the 4 level bid. And that'll happen when they bid and sometimes when they don't. We'll just get in here and preempt this. We'll talk about more advanced raises in our advanced raises unit in this course. I like to, in all of these complete guides, I like to have enough of the basics for you, but also something to build on in the future and give you some more advanced bids to maybe put on the card when you're ready. And some of you may be ready right now, and I'll see you in that advanced raises unit if you are ready. And the next auction we want to talk about, folks, is when they double in competitive auctions. A little different than when they overcall, because this will always be strength. Sometimes when they overcall, they've shown like weakness, or sometimes when they've opened with a preemptive bid, they've shown weakness. Here, when they double, they're always just showing a good hand, right? So a lot of times it might be theirs, right? So they've shown strength. It's more likely probably to be theirs here than when they overcall usually. And our job here is kind of the same as in the other competitive auctions. We're going to bid to place our contract when it's our hand, or we'll try to double them when it's our hand and they've bid too much. or when we don't think it's our hand, we will interfere with their process. So once again, the hand in the middle is the, hey, I'm interfering. Number 8 there is I am trying to get in their way because I think it's their hand, right? So the more I can get in their way, the better it is going to be for us. The other two are, okay, the hand on number 7 is let's play some spades. And hand number 9 is, hey, maybe we can play some spades, or even maybe we can double them in whatever they choose, because it is definitely our hand. And that is what we're going to go through in this course, folks. We're going to look at these auctions. We're also going to look at all of the raises we have available when they interfere, whether that's with bidding or with doubling. You can see here, I'm just clicking through all of our options. All of these bids are available for you when they double. And we've gone through the other chart when they bid. Again, 2 more sections to go over in our advanced raises unit. And those will be kind of those expert level agreements that you can dip into whenever you are ready. But we will cover all of these and more, and you'll get tons of practice as we go forward. So let's jump into that next unit, folks. And if you haven't grabbed this course yet, grab it right in the store, right on the front page of the site. It'll be there as well. It is the complete guide to competitive raises. Let's start bidding them, folks. I'll see you in the next section.